I love Puerto Rico. That place is great. Wasn't even there, but it was fun to think about while I was on the drive home. I don't have any food. What am I doing? Oh, good damn it. What's going on here? Someone give me some. Happy holidays, Rangers!
Why was your first instinct to throw your wallet at me?
It works for muggers. Is that Mason? What are you doing here?
We'll come back to this. I just want you to know we're coming back to this.
Okay, well, first of all, what are you doing? Why are you in my house? I changed the locks, okay? They told me they changed the locks.
Because it's spooky season, Zach. And what's spookier than a man sneaking into your house and translocating? Well, okay, so I translocated to your neighbor's house. Apartment complexes suck for that. Your neighbors seem nice, if a little prone to hysterics. But anyways, I came down, took the locks, came in, here I am.
When did you get here? I've been gone all day.
Yeah, like 8 a.m., you're out of beer, and I'm really bored.
What do you want? Why?
It's spooky season! Let's film something spooky!
Oh, what's the idea? What do you got?
I don't know, I came up with the cold open, you do the rest.
Well, luckily I do have an idea, Mason.
Who are you?
The camera, Zach's behind it.
Right. Sure, buddy. Anyways, just help me get this fucking pumpkin off my head and we get started.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is... It's pretty nice.
It's been on there for hours.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, get right here.
Time for the video!
Who are you talking to?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mace's channel. So the stream idea we wanted to do like a podcast episode, and what we wanted to do was come up with horror movie monsters and kind of make a movie. So everybody here has made a movie monster in the plot of the first movie, and they're going to pitch it to us and try to sell us on this movie. We're going to all be muted while the person's reading. You'll see, me and Zach or Mason reacting on camera probably. And we will be shitting on each other in chat, most likely. But they'll tell their stories, their pitches, and then we will talk about them post-pitch, and we'll do that for everybody. And then we'll kind of figure out who we think has the best movie that's going to make blockbuster, and then we're going to write the script, send it to... I didn't tell anybody this part. We're going to write the script, send it to somebody, and we're going to make millions of dollars. Anyway.
Do you guys want spooky music behind your shit? Because I've got one lined up.
One spooky music, please.
All right. If you
I'll
guys
take exactly one spoopy.
I'll take some spoopy.
All right. I'm gonna just share this. All right. So going first.
Okay, I don't think there's any hair on this.
That's always good to know. Going first is Zach Keys, because he is the least prepared, and why the fuck did you do this to yourself?
Boo!
Yeah. Oh, remember, we gotta mute ourselves.
We'll mute ourselves, but we can mock it beforehand.
Whenever you're ready, I'll mute myself.
Yep.
So, how long does this guy be?
It doesn't. There's no defined length.
Imagine
as long as you want.
If you take all 3 hours, though, I will break your fucking knees.
Yeah,
please take all 3 hours, please.
Do you have wrap-up music prepared, Mason?
I have sound effects that can end it.
Okay, good.
This is probably going to take less than 10 minutes. That's why I was asking.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I'm terrible at
there's literally no defined length. You get your fucking story out. That's all we need.
1 minute tops.
We can bullshit stuff too,
And worst case scenario, we end up playing a game. Oh no. The gaming channel plays a game? Fuck!
Sorry, we're speedrunning now?
I don't play video games, okay? So.
Matt's on.
Well, speedrun. The end, guys. How'd you like it?
All right. You ready, Keys?
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
Okay. Spooky music a go. Everyone quiet!
So, my monster's name is pending, but right now I call him the Portal Master. Not the game. The movie starts off panning on into a city that's rainy and everything, and then you see some children playing, and then as one runs through puddle, peers out perfectly fine. The other one runs through and falls into the water, and then blood spurts out of the water. Then the kid eventually freaks out because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Oh my god, sex pieces. I can't stop from laughing at the chat. Kid gets blamed for killing his friend. Years later, you see another empty alley. Kids running down playing, and one runs down the alley and disappears. And outside the other side is blood and bones. People start to investigate. Nothing happens when they investigate through the alley. Here's the part I didn't prepare for. I got to this part. Then we see the kid that we see at the beginning start to investigate because, you know, who the fuck doesn't investigate murdering kids? I don't fucking know. Oh god, this is such a terrible plot. Eventually, it turns out that he runs into the monster, which is a translucent monster that floats, draped in cape, and when you see his hands, it's just I don't know how to say it. Like, it's just skin on bone, basically. And reaching out of it, and God, what's the other chat say now? And sure, that sounds like a good. Okay, I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry. And the movie ends with the guy being killed and another guy popping out of the ground. But I'm done. It lives on a cliffhanger.
All right.
I love it.
I fucking love
I
it.
feel like it would have been better if, you know,
There you go.
Yep, that was
I
great.
had more stuff written down to go over it, other than bullet points.
No, I love it. I'm glad that we started with you because
The least prepared. Yeah.
How could you say something like that?
I love you, Zach, and that was great.
Love you too,
I was
man. Love you
dying.
all.
I was dying to just.
Oh,
no.
Okay, so
You should.
go over we go over it a little bit, like you.
Yeah, go step by step.
So what's the creature look like?
It's basically a floating translucent cloth until his body comes out of the cloth.
So
Oh,
spooky.
okay.
So spooky ghost
Ooh,
from
Scooby.
any given Scooby-Doo episode, right up until the cloth comes off, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh no.
It's a spooky sperm cloth, and then boom.
Yeah.
But
A big
the cliffhanger is because I made this from a D&D monster I was creating. I still haven't fucking finished it.
Okay. So
That's exactly what I said.
What?
Oh my god.
That is exactly what I said. He's like, I'm gonna go and do a D&D character. I'm like, that's fine. That's what Matt's doing.
Stealing ideas.
Wow.
Oh God, I love
God,
it.
that's good shit.
But yeah, like the cliffhanger is the god gets resurrected and he starts eating people.
The god gets resurrected and starts eating people.
I
Yeah.
will say I do like the idea of a kid walking past a puddle and just like their friends like, ha ha, I'll splash you, and then they just get sucked into it.
That is one of the more important aspects, I think, of a movie is a good kill, and that's a good kill.
Yeah, a
And
good
I'm
open-
Especially
also-
a horror movie.
I'm also
like
really
disappearing.
for a
I did-
pothole monster. Like,
oh fuck!
Would get
Indiana
out of
would
the
burn.
Yes.
Uh,
Here's how it would go in the pitch meeting. We'd be like, we like what you're doing, but like we heard pothole monster and we're stuck on that, so we're gonna
So-
stay with that.
Pothole man, come in this
Everything.
June.
Yeah, everything else, fuck that. Like, great, but like, you know, we want
Spooky
that pothole monster.
ghost. Maybe instead it could be somebody that died in a car accident
Ooh,
by hitting
and
the
it's still-
pothole and launching
still
through
a
the
kid.
roof of their
It's
car.
still a kid.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I took out a part that I was gonna put in originally because I thought it was cruel to animals.
No,
A
you
dog
don't.
ran through the alleyway originally and died.
Wow, that's
You-
way worse. I
You
would.
killed kids, and now you're like, well, now it's dog.
No, I'm
Well,
fine with kid
I
death
can't kill
versus
kids.
dog death. Like,
Yeah. Kid death
I'm
is
a
fine.
parent, and I'm still more
I was
okay
gonna
with
say
that.
your parent. You just said I'm fine with kid death.
Not-
I want
listen,
everyone.
Kid death, not my kid's death.
Clipped. I want that clipped. Everybody, I want that clipped.
As long as it's not my kid, it's not my fucking problem.
I'm not gonna lie, I should
My
have never
kid.
looked at any of the chat.
I know.
Because
I
as soon
felt
as I read
bad.
Pothole Monster, I died. And then I said, read see-through, yes, kids, alleys, unjust imprisonment. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I knew
bet-
that was gonna end up being what happened.
I bet that's so weird with everyone muted. You're just talking to yourself.
Because
I started
I
trying
couldn't
to
even hear the
reenact
music,
things.
and I was just like, oh god, I'm so weirded out.
When he said the blood spurted out of the puddle, I gave the good old fisting thing.
Yes, the good old fisting thing.
Good old
Good old
fisting thing.
Mister.
That's actually the
Mr.
slogan
Fister.
for the movie: "A good old fisting."
By
Yeah, I
his
have no clue what to
emaciated
call him. That's
hands.
why he's called the Portal Master.
Is that I half
Is
expected
that,
you
is
to
that
do.
how he kills? Like he kills by fisting?
It could be. You don't know. He
Zach,
goes through a portal. You don't see him die, and then you see the blood come out.
can you make a fisting monster in D&D? That sounds amazing.
I think there is one. It's called a Puglist.
But he's just like in like leather, like a bodysuit, and he just fists you to death.
Oh,
I could make that happen.
I like
okay.
this.
So,
Special
let's go
ability.
next.
Anal fissure fisting.
No, I should say we should like rank it somehow.
Okay.
It's okay, guys. I know it's like a 2 out of 10.
No, there were a lot of elements to this I actually liked. Like the puddle thing, the idea that it's like a almost mundane monster because you're like, oh, it's just some kid in a bedsheet, and then you pull it off, and you're like, oh, that's not a child, and I don't like this.
Like, I like the idea of the monster. I like the kill. I just needed more plot, I guess. Is all I
needed
would
more
want.
keys.
Like I said, I thought of this an hour before I got home.
I love you, Zach. For
You're gonna make us
always,
all look better, buddy.
always helping us look better.
Guys, we
Just
all know I
like
procrastinate to the max. That's why I still get A's somehow.
Just
Yeah,
like
you know-
rated it a solid 1 PogChamp.
Okay, so we're rating it on PogChamps.
Oh no, why?
What's
Okay.
a snake?
So
PogChamp.
yeah, that's a
Oh,
solid
Lego
PogChamp for
Blizzard.
you, Zach. Good PogChamp. Sick Poggers PogChamp for you.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Just know that Mason doesn't like it, and that's why
Yeah.
you should use it.
Exactly.
That's why I
I will
choose
give
against
you
him.
2 scowling masons.
2 scowling masons.
This scale is so confusing.
You get 1.75 sheeshes from me.
I'm
like
gonna give it.
scaling.
I'm gonna give it a fisting up to the elbow. How about that?
Whoa.
Is there an
Okay,
emote for
that's
that?
the most
Like,
That's like 60%.
understandable
Wow, if
feeling
there's nothing
system.
emote, we need to make it.
I
Because,
don't want to do
Like
that.
you can only fist up to the elbow, so the shoulder, so the elbow's pretty good
Yeah,
there.
so that's like
Yeah,
that's like a 5 out of 10. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not finishing yet, but like we're
See, and 2
This is
scowling
everything else
masons
is
are worth at
confusing.
least 3 PogChamps. So you're like at a 3 out of 6 because I scale by
Thank
1 to
you.
6.
Matt got it. Matt got the emote.
Is that
Oh
like
my
a little
God.
guy moving on the tattoo?
yeah, it's an animated emote.
That's the marking of how high I've gotten it up.
Oh wow, that's past the elbow, Zach. That's my
No,
area.
that's the highest
That's a
I've
high
ever
rating,
gotten it
dude. That's a
before,
high rating.
okay? You're still at the elbow. That's just the highest I've ever gotten.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh god. Okay, who wants to go next?
Anybody? Anybody?
Jake, Matt. I'm still waiting on Jenna because she really wanted to hear this, but also I have no idea where the fuck she is.
I'll go.
Okay.
Real quick, I have to tell you guys.
Yeah.
That I am now the proud owner of a Drew Barrymore electric kettle because mine broke this morning.
Oh.
And Jenna went to Walmart, and that was like one of 3 that they had.
What?
It was the only
The
one
Drew
with
Barrymore
temperature
store?
control.
What
Dude,
makes it
Drew
Drew
Barrymore?
Barrymore?
It's
She
Drew
makes her
Barrymore
own line of
brand.
stuff.
It's
Like, are her
She has a branded kettle?
She's like the new
She's
Ellen.
got her own talk
She's
show
basically
now
the
and
new. She's the
everything.
new Ellen, basically.
Does she also abuse her employees?
Does she also demand no
To
one
be
look her in
determined.
the eye?
TBH.
Jake, she's the new Rachel Ray if she's got her own line of cooking wear.
God, we got Rachel Ray. She's the worst of them all. She's
I'm
Rachel
sure
Ray.
okay, I'm looking up Ellen
and
cooking
Oprah.
wear.
I gotta say, though, it was a nice electric
You're
kettle,
ordering
so I'm
Ellen
not
cookware
upset.
now?
What was that?
What?
What was that about Ellen?
Jake said he's gonna look up and probably get Ellen cookware. So
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go. It just yells at you
Yeah.
like, "You fat fuck!"
If you look at it too long,
Like the
it
Gordon
fucking
Ramsay
Is
of
snaps.
Ellen mean?
cookware.
Is Ellen like secretly mean to people?
Yeah, did you not
Yeah.
know
I don't know.
that?
I don't think it's a
Yeah,
secret.
yes.
yeah,
That's
bro,
not
it's
being a
not
secret
like
a couple
years
months
ago.
back.
That's like a big ass story. Crazy Ellen.
Wait,
Ellen
is this like
losing
when
her
she
mind.
cried on TV and apologized for something?
I don't know.
Probably, I
You
wouldn't
probably
doubt,
the
but like one of the
apologetic
things
type.
was she was like really mean to her fucking interns, and like if you were a guest on the show, you were told not to look her in the eyes, like she's a fucking rabid dog,
I did hear about that
Medusa.
part. I heard she did not like people looking her in the eyes.
which is
She
such a weird thing.
She probably tried to apologize via dance, and I don't think that's gonna work.
On your go, Matt.
All right, let's do it. All right, that is some pretty good music actually. All right, so the thing I was thinking about, it's not one single monster, but here's how the movie goes. These like 20-something-year-olds go out to this resort in the Appalachians, dope ass music. And they're on this resort, they're having a great time. They decide to go rafting in the rapids. Okay, yeah, they definitely get deranked. And while they're rafting, shit happens. Like the raft crashes, it gets torn up. So they're in the deep mountains, and one of them decides to go and try and find some help. It's not the forest. Do you even know what kind of rivers are in those mountains? You don't. So the one that goes off on his own is actually a member of this cult of like infected humans are infected with like this parasitic fungus that needs new hosts to survive and reproduce and spread. And so he goes and gets his boys. It's not Last of Us. He goes and gets his boys, and they come back, and basically they say we've got help. We gotta come to this area. We can have shelter. We'll help arrives. And they get into this large cavern where there's like this just ridiculously teal, pearlescent, like giant mushroom that it's like seeping just disgusting goo down from its edges. And they see one of their original friend they went to go get help go under the goo and like slurp it up, basically like it's his food. And they're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then they hear a noise behind them, and like the cave entrance closes, and they're freaking the fuck out. And one of them gets like grabbed and pulled towards the goo. Goo infects them, and that's like its reproduction ritual to like, you know, spread to other people. And meanwhile, all the other friends are still sitting there waiting to be infected, and they're freaking the fuck out. And so basically, they're getting freaked out by this. It is a gelatinous cube. Thank you, Keys. they manage to try and break free and escape. They get out of the cave and they're being tracked like down by these infected humans. And so they get to like close to there's like a treacherous journey to get close to the end of where their river is supposed to be, where they were supposed to end a trip. And right in front of them, they see that original friend that got pulled and infected, and he's standing there, just like staring him down, and he like kills him with this fungus power, menacingly. And so that, like, nobody makes it out alive except for the one that they watched get infected by the goo. And the others, they're placed like at the base of this mushroom, and it's like their god, basically. Like this giant teal pearlescent mushroom is their god, and they bring food for it. Like they infect one person to spread their fungus, and they bring more food and just place it at the base of this mushroom. And that's basically the entire thing. End scene.
Damn.
I like it.
Mushroom, yes.
Wait, was it really a gelatinous cube? Were you?
No,
serious?
No,
Oh.
no, of course it was. It was
I
a
was
fucking
like, wait, what?
peel pearlescent mushroom.
So
You get 3
No,
Mason
not the
screens.
end.
Congratulations.
I meant the part that I was talking about.
Do you what was I gonna say? Do you have a name for the mushroom thing?
I do not.
I think it's honestly scary if it doesn't have a
The
name.
names, yeah.
Scary if it's just like the people.
Yeah, because like
and-
the idea being like it's this unknowable mushroom god living in the forest of the Appalachians, and there's just nothing you can fucking do about it.
so they bring it food and it like eats the food?
So, like, do you understand how mushrooms consume things? Like,
Not really. No, I don't know too much about
so
mushrooms.
like shit just like decays and they come up and break down
Oh, okay, okay.
into other soil and like sediments and stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
Gosh, Zach, it's like you never played Last of Us.
I know. I watched the entire movie of it, but I never played the game.
There's no movie.
Well, like the
Right.
cutscene movie.
Yeah, there is.
But I just love the idea that these people are like so terrified, and then they see their friend and they think he's like okay, and then he like kills him. And
No,
So
I
it's
like that.
Some of it makes me feel like it would work as like a found footage kind of thing.
Oh,
I
totally.
can see that, yeah.
That would work
Where
great. It's like
So, like,
somebody's
Blair
fucking
Witch.
Field
GoPro.
fire style.
Yeah, like that kind of gives me an idea of like it's like a single person. You see just like the glowing shit of
like,
the mushroom and
it
whatnot.
wouldn't even be like out of character for that because it like you've got people whitewater rafting and people fucking film themselves doing that.
Yeah.
Shit all the time.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, great way to work it into the start.
Yeah. That's fucking good. I like that. That's not even an
I
like.
like it.
There's a book by Neil Gaiman that briefly mentions something similar to that. It's
Guarantee I haven't read that.
I'm sure, but it's like London Below, but I can't remember what the fucking name of the book is.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said the mushroom thing, I was like, Last of Us.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's-
I got that from a few people.
I bet.
Like me. I said
They're
that.
like, oh, you must be The Last of Us. And then somebody, when I mentioned it was like this religious like mushroom cult, they're like, oh, are you talking about Resident Evil?
Oh, shut the fuck up. No,
I'm like,
okay,
you
it's called
guys.
Neverwhere, but they have like a cult of like the mushroom people is what they call them, and you have to make sure that what.
Just that he
I
just called them the
believe
mushroom
that,
people.
Yeah.
that like someone else has had a similar idea to that.
Yeah, well, but it's like that's the thing. It's a similar idea, but this is more expanded upon because basically all they tell you about the mushroom people in that book is don't eat raw mushroom or you will go to the mushroom and you will become one of the mushroom people.
become the people.
You have to make sure it's cooked, or you will
mushroom
fucking
people.
yeah. Like if somebody takes a bunch of spores and
Look
throws
like
it in your face,
people,
same thing.
talk like mushrooms.
And like
I'm
the
not gonna
first
lie,
guy,
I
the first guy was
definitely-
just attracted to it and ate it, right? That's how it went. He just kind
No,
of
he went under it.
went.
and then
Oh,
ate
okay,
it.
okay.
I'm thinking like the first person it infected was like some retard that decided to go spelunking or something.
Oh, okay.
And found it in this cave, and he was like, "What is that?" And then like got
And he's like,
infected
"Ah,
from
might as
it
well eat it."
somehow. Like,
Oh my gosh, I should have just did a Korean movie plot that I know the movie plot for, and no one would know probably.
That's not better.
I typed in the mushroom people in Google, and I got this movie called Matango. All right, just listen to the description for this.
All right, let's do it.
Shipwreck survivors slowly transform into mushrooms.
What?
The
Wait,
horse.
what? No, I might have to watch this now because I need to know how they turn into mushrooms. Like, is that is that just like a thing where something on the island turns into mushrooms, like a weird version of Lost?
I don't know, but I'm interested now. Like,
I gotta know
Man.
too. It's just gonna be
Everyone's Google. All right, no more stream. We're all
It's
watching Matango, and we'll come back.
We
There's a
watch
place
it.
called
It's exactly the
Matango.
same.
Arkansas.
It's the same fucking plot that Matt just said, and you're like, "God damn it, Matt!" Thief.
He's just been playing us this whole fucking time. I like the
I did
imagery
draw
too, by the way,
a
man.
lot of inspiration from like at least like the general terror idea from like Midsommar, and I don't know if you watch any other movies that those people direct, like The Witch.
I did not like The Witch.
I want to see Midsummer.
But Midsummer was good. I didn't like The Witch. Both were kind of slow.
Yeah,
and-
but they're just especially Midsummer is just straight terror.
Yeah,
the entire
I
time.
will say Midsummer did a much better job of telegraphing the terror beforehand in really subtle ways. And like,
oh, it's a
not spelling it
Japanese
out for
horror
you.
movie.
But like The Witch, I couldn't get into it. I just could not give a
Maybe.
shit. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like it's up my alley. I think there's something about period horror movies that just make it like really hard to care about them because you're like, yeah, this didn't happen. We already have stuff about
This
this.
didn't happen. You're just sitting there like, actually.
Yeah, I am actually in a movie that no one cares
Imagine.
that I actually.
Just
You know, another good
just like-
example of that is Crimson Peak because that's the one where they like, it's like, oh, we live over these clay mines, and also for some reason we dug the clay mines under our house. The clay looks like blood, and our house is sinking into it. Also, there's a giant gaping hole in the center of our house in the roof. No one ever bothers trying to fix it. It's winter. Die, I guess.
It happened. Go.
It like right up until the point where they get to like England, where this girl is going to this manor that she's never been to with her new husband. It was like, okay, this isn't bad. I kind of dig this. And then they get there and there's just a fucking giant hole in the roof, and there's leaves and rain coming in through it. And it's like, okay, no, that should be an immediate red flag if you get to your new husband's estate and there's just a giant hole in it. And he's like, yeah, no, this is definitely my house.
Also, I feel like we could read into this as like a warning against doing mushrooms.
PSA.
No, I've
That's
done
like-
mushrooms like 7 times. It's not a warning. It's fine.
Don't become the next
Oh,
Seek
God.
help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get
Yeah.
some help.
All right.
I
Actually,
give it.
I was thinking about picking up some more, actually.
I
Oh.
give
I gave
it
it 3
nice,
crying babies.
solid mushroom head. Good for you.
Do you have an emote for that? Or
Yeah,
just,
you gotta have an emo. That's the
Yeah.
only way. He
Oh,
got
okay, let
3
me-
Mason screams from me, which is slightly better
Let
than
me-
Mason
let me
scowls.
see.
Again, it's 3 out of 6.
Fuck, there's no mushroom emote.
Is there really not?
That is
Honestly, I kind
good.
of would have assumed.
It's
It's
probably
good
for a
with
specific
mushroom.
channel.
Yeah, I give you 5 out of 10.
Oh, here, you want me to do it?
No.
I
Sounded like 6. Was that 5?
honestly, I might have hit it 6. I wasn't really paying attention.
You
You want me to do it again?
No.
What a weird scale.
Oh, honey, you didn't see the first scale. The first scale was even more nonsensical.
Hey, you got 4 purple drinks because that's the only thing I could
Out of
find.
how many?
Out of usually comes like a 12-pack. Still pretty good though.
Ooh.
4 out of 12. I don't know.
25%.
Okay.
33%.
I'm just gonna go take some mushrooms.
All right, you know
out.
what? It's a
rethink my life.
6-pack. It's a 6-pack.
He's gonna become a mushroom person.
All right,
I
Janet's
gave you
home.
3
She's
crying
watching. I'll
babies.
do mine because she
I was
specifically.
eating your gummies. You child.
Gummies?
Yeah, I
Dang.
got gummies.
Are they good
I want
gummies?
some
Well,
or
now it's 4 out of 6.
I don't
Jen,
know.
like
I haven't been
6.
upstairs.
like did she come back from Michigan or?
No,
we
not that
promoting
kind of
drugs
gummies.
here, Mason. You fucking fuck.
No, I am just a child that likes gummy bears. You fucks.
It's true. He eats it for
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah, I eat
I
them
will
almost every
bring
day.
Mason gummies from Michigan one day.
Sour Patch Kids, even better.
Oh,
Oh my
Oh,
god!
fuck yeah.
oh
Sugar
shit.
Sour Patch?
Fuck it, we're leaving. We're going to Mason's house for some Sour Patch Kids.
Right now.
Whoops! Give me just a moment. I just remembered I never came up with names for my characters.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
imagine not having names
Wow.
for yourself.
And you
Literally,
shit on me. You shit on me and you're not even fully prepared.
I
Listen.
actually bullshit.
Listen,
Actually 100% bullshit.
I came up with character names for the main characters, but the supporting characters don't have names at the moment. So
Who cares about
they're all
supporting
about to have
characters?
some really boring names.
Just
Wow.
call one Milton.
You got Milton.
What else
That's
we
the only
got?
one you're getting. I got the
Okay.
other ones already.
What a sick party. Twisted Tea, Sour Patch Kids, and Pizza Pringles. Fuck, that sounds awesome.
That does sound like a pretty
That
good.
does
party.
actually sound a lot of fun.
Pizza bagels.
I don't know why I had to type that. I can speak now.
No, keep typing.
Yeah, you need it in the
Wow.
chat, all right?
I'm not. What?
What?
You know, the funny thing is you guys have been talking about the chat the whole time and I just don't see it.
And you
Are
just-
you, we're in like stream chat, like
Yeah,
get
I'm
in here?
not.
Well,
It's-
Mason writes names.
Wow.
What's your
I already got
favorite
it.
like horror movie monster?
but I got it. But let's still go over this. I like this.
A dinosaur.
What?
Just a dinosaur, like
Just a
Jurassic
generic
Park?
Like no, I like to imagine it's like a
In our Discord
bronchiosaurus.
chat.
The one movie I remember the most is this movie my cousins forced me to watch.
It's like dinosaur.
And it was started off, and a
Disney's
guy
dinosaurs.
was working his diner, cleaning it up, and he hears some noise outside, and he thinks it's raccoons or coyotes. And he goes to investigate, and it's velociraptors, and they eat them alive.
Oh shit.
Are you sure
And
you're
then,
just
like-
talking about Velocipaster again?
No.
We gotta watch it. It's great.
No, I did watch it. It's terrible.
Oh, it's in
You
a
mean
good way though.
eternally great.
Disagree.
But like towards the end of the movie, they like find the velociraptors like in the cave, and they start distracting them with music so they can blow up the caves with them in it.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
Tremors.
Pretty similar to Tremors. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it
That's
is.
just shitty Tremors. That's Kevin Baconless Tremors.
And then like the very end thing, they find a
Vegan
T-Rex.
What about you guys? What favorite movie monster?
Oh,
Or like character or whatever?
favorite movie.
I don't have like a
Horror-
specific
horror
one,
movie.
but I'm like a
I've got
big...
one from a book. if
Okay,
you're
go.
interested.
Hey, go ahead.
I read this book in, I think it was like middle school. Basically, like these dudes were searching for like the Loch Ness monster, and instead there was this basically like a giant, really aggressive piranha in the lake, and it like
Piranha Double D.
it like killed everyone and like drug them back to its lair. It made it so like nobody wanted to even, because people just kept disappearing in it, and like
Hold on,
every
we
time they
gotta-
tried to research it, they died. It
We
was
gotta address the asshole playing fucking Far Cry right now.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I was just doing the TV, but
Damn it, Zach! That's why I was laughing. I literally put it in Mason's chat because I was trying not to laugh. I had to
Jake's
mute
being a
myself.
fucking dick to Matt right
Yeah.
now.
I heard one of you just.
I heard you start laughing. I was like, damn.
I was
just see
laughing at
Zach
Keys.
lean fully back out of
Yeah,
frame
just-
almost.
See his.
Dickhead.
That sounds
I was
like a good book.
listening.
Oh.
I don't have like a specific horror villain that I love. I'm a big fan of like ones that are more spooky rather than just like gore filled. Because like I don't know, I don't get much out of gore. It doesn't make me be like ah. It just makes me be like ah, that's such a mess. Like someone's got to fucking clean that up. You are just an asshole.
How irresponsible.
Yeah, honestly, like
Just-
don't you know about bloodborne pathogens? What the fuck? But like,
ask Cody at work.
but like,
I don't. Oh, sorry.
like I like spooky. I like things that fill me with like dread. Like, oh shit, this could be in my house right now. There could be a demon just like staring at me from the darkness behind this door. I wouldn't care, but still, like I like that. I like knowing like okay, there like you just don't know. It's versus like, oh no, guy with knife. Look at me, man with gun. I win. Sorry.
They tried that with Michael Myers many times. That bitch ain't dead.
Yeah,
for,
I
like, 20
maintain
years.
that's really stupid.
Yeah, because he's just a normal person in the movies.
Yeah, he's just a traumatized child that's been treated like a fucking force of evil his entire life.
Who spent his time in jail learning how to get bulletproof skin. You guys can read between the lines.
Is that what happens to the dude from Flowers for Algernon?
Yes, 100%. Just becomes Michael Myers. Oh my
These pills
god.
made me smart and invincible.
Oh fuck, that's good.
I think the movie. I think it's called Darkness Falls. You guys
Oh,
remember?
the
that
one
movie?
with the Tooth Fairy?
Fuck that movie.
Yeah. That one was
I hate that
terrifying.
movie with a passion.
Oh man.
Yeah, okay,
that
do you guys
fucked me up
remember
as
you-
a kid?
Yeah, I was about to say we all were probably what, like 9 or 10,
Yeah.
maybe 8.
Yeah, like
And that shit
Brian
comes out and it's like
age.
you're in the dark, you're in the darkness, you're done. And bro, I think I slept with the lights on for about 2 weeks after that.
I was
I
at my
remember
gonna
watching
parents'
that
house
when I was like
during
11.
the summer with that, and I wanted to see Monkey Bones, and my sister made it where if she rented Monkey Bones for me to watch a scary movie, she picked that one. She had a cat, and the cat moved around at night, and I just took my covered my head. I was like, I'm not going to sleep now. I stayed awake the rest of the night.
I vividly have the memory of the guy getting like jumped in the stairwell.
Yeah,
The
that's the one I always think of. I always think of that one. He's like, oh,
Why?
because you have to
That stuck
jump
with
to the
me.
light platform at the bottom. You have
Yeah.
to jump, and then he just gets yanked into like the
Just
darkness, and you're like,
fucking-
oh shit.
I always
Yeah,
think of the
real.
mom because she's like, I don't see anything,
Oh,
honey.
yeah, at the
Looks in
beginning,
the
right?
mirror.
That movie is
God.
creepy. That was a good
Dude,
one.
That
The
was.
movie that really fucked me up young though was I watched Silence of the Lambs when I was like
Jesus!
7, dude. I was just horrified for like 3 years after that.
Yeah, I
movie.
fucking bet.
You want to
So,
know what scared me a lot as a kid was the scene in Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, where Jason and Kimberly are taken over and made to be evil. I refused to watch that movie for a long time because that scene scared the shit out of me.
And I've still never seen it to this day.
So, has anybody here seen Pixar's Dinosaurs?
No.
Yeah,
Wait,
Yes.
wait,
I have not,
Pixar's
no.
dinosaurs or
It's got a talking iguanodon and Zubumafum mammal. I don't know what he is.
Zabuma-
Ring lemur.
Good job.
Should be a ringed lemur.
Yeah.
Yeah, ring lemur. That's it. I couldn't think of lemur for some reason. So me and my dad went and saw that in theaters because I love Jurassic Park and everything.
Mhm.
About halfway through that movie, something freaked me out. Don't know what it was because I've never seen the movie all the way through. Freaked me out, and I went and sat on the toilet in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Didn't have to poop or anything, just sat there.
I
I think they had to clarify. I was not shitting.
did you guys have like Keys brought it up, but did you guys have like a movie that you had to get dragged out of as a child because you were freaking out about something that happened in it?
I
like, mine was Shiloh. I don't know if you guys know anything about that movie because I don't.
That movie's so sad.
It was the point where the puppy gets beat over the head with a shovel.
Oh my god!
I started
No!
fucking screaming at the top of my lungs as like a 5-year-old, and my mom thought it was gonna be like a cute movie about a puppy, and didn't know. And she's like, "Oh God, okay, we gotta go." I'm like, I'm just like getting dragged, physically dragged out of the theater.
That movie was so sad at the end. I cried.
I've never watched it after that. I refuse. I don't need more depression.
The one movie I nearly got me and my mom kicked out of was the sequel to Babe. I was standing up in the
Big
theater.
in the City is a fucked up movie.
I was standing up and talking to Babe and at the camera, like at the fucking big screen, like the whole movie. And my mom had to keep fucking dragging me back down into my seat. And I kept being like, "Babe, over there! Over there, babe!"
There's a
You fucking idiot pig! Go to the right!
You big pig! I feel like shows like Dora would have been perfect for me if I was like,
yeah, honestly, they're probably perfect for you now.
Over the fucking river, Dora!
Over
Do
here?
it!
Where? Over here?
Can we go up the mountain?
Just turn around.
Show her boots!
Yeah, boy! We are.
That's what we're doing.
We're not right now because we're just bullshitting. But yeah.
Sorry, we got into movies. Do you want to go now, Mason?
Yeah, I can go ahead and go. I almost muted myself like an idiot.
All right.
That would have been totally useless.
Imagine.
Okay.
I'm totally not going to play.
I will fucking drive to your house and shit on your console.
Wow, that's mean.
I will smear it into the disc port. Do not.
Ooh.
Oh no.
That's gonna cost a lot to clean.
Okay.
All right, I'm
You guys
muted.
ready?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So 5 kids go kids being 18 to 19-year-olds. Go camping in Oregon in a national park. Their names are Bobby, Isaac, Milton, June, and Jenny. As they enter the park, Isaac mentions to his friends that a long time ago, his great-great-great-grandfather went missing around these areas during an army outing. No one ever knew what happened, but his grandmother was already pregnant, so... Sorry. Milton and Jenny laugh about this and mention to him that it must be their fault then, because they're the ones that decided they wanted to go camping. The kids go into the woods. They're looking for a place to set camp, but it's all very crowded. So they come across a clearing in between 2 different patches of woods. And laid in between them is a field of wildflowers. They cross through it and go into the other woods. There's a sign that says no trespassing, restricted area. But they're 19, so no one listens to that. And they go in far enough to where they can't be seen from the other woods and make camp. You feel like they're being watched the entire time they're setting up camp. And as night falls, it only gets worse. They hear these strange and horrible howls off in the distance. Can't make out really what they are. Don't sound like a bear. Don't sound like anything. The next day, they all go on a hike, and they feel like they've been wandering for hours and just haven't made it back to camp yet. And they just assume that they got lost. Sooner or later, they find their way back to camp by coming to another clearing and seeing their tents off in the distance. And notice that something has gone rifling through their things. It's not the forest! Off in the distance, June, looking around to see what could have rifled through all of their stuff without destroying it, sees something strange. A 12-foot tall creature with large antlers standing in the fading golden hour light. It stalks away as she draws attention to it. No one else sees it. They hear more sounds that night. Closer. Something breaking branches just outside of the range of the firelight. The next morning, Isaac decides to go for help, because he seems to be the best suited to do so. He makes a big show of leaving, saying how he'll be back shortly, and not to worry, as he pulls out his trusty Bowie knife, and says, "I've got this. Nothing can harm me." He heads off in the direction they came from to enter the forest, back towards the wildflowers to go get help. They wait the day, and he doesn't come back. And that night, they can hear distant, but far off, laughter. I lost my place, hang on. There. The next morning, he still hasn't come back. No help has arrived. So they start heading the same way, while Milton and Jenny stay behind to guard the camp, which we all know means booty. They find an old cabin. As they get confused and I fucked that up. They all start walking in that direction towards the wildflowers, find no wildflowers. But what they do find is an old cabin, filled with warm firelight, surrounded by other cabins, all old and decayed, broken down. June walks up to the door and knocks, because this is a horror movie and no one's ever thought to wait. An old Native American man answers, looks at them and says, "If you are here, you are in grave danger. Get inside." They all ask him what's happening, why they didn't come to the field of wildflowers. What is the giant thing they saw off in the distance? The old man explains, "My name is Aloe, and I am the last of my people, the Watwachi. That furry beast is an old forest god named Atlacha. Long ago, my people worshipped him." The teens are stunned and ask why he's stalking them if he's an old forest god, and why he's trying to harm them, as they've done nothing but come into the woods and make camp. The old man tells them to settle in and hands out tea. "Long, long and long ago, my people were nomads, wandering the plains and forests of these lands, until we came across this forest. It was surrounded by wildflowers and full of game. We entered the forest and were greeted by a being of massive size. He carried a bow made of bone and sinew. He had chestnut brown, shiny fur, and bore a bleached white elk skull carved with sigils and with glowing golden eyes in the skull sockets. This was Atlacha, guardian of the forest, forever bound to it. He welcomed my people and taught them how to properly strip and clean animals, how to use every part of them for tools or weapons or various other implements. Over time, we built farms and homes in the forest. First were teepees, but some of our number ventured out into the world to return with books, knowledge, and ideas, so eventually we made these cabins. All the while, Atlacha watched over us and would guide us as needed. He had the power to shift the forest. Some even said he could move it through time, as there are stories of wild game not seen since shortly after the last ice age, roaming the forest when my grandfather was young. The village would often overlook the wildflowers, but sometimes it existed deeper in the forest so hunters could more easily trap their prey. And so it went for many years, peaceful. When times were hard, Atlacha would feed us. When times were bountiful, we would feed him. Then, when my father was an infant and my grandfather a man in his 20s, tragedy struck. A little girl, no older than 9, went to play in the field of flowers, as so many children often did. This was dangerous, as Atlacha could not see beyond the forest trees, and could not leave to protect us if we were outside of it. The girl played and wandered into the other forest, not Atlacha's, and she did not return. The following morning, a search party was set up, 50 men, women, and children all told. My grandfather didn't go, as my grandmother was too sick to care for my infant father. Atlacha brought the village to the edge of the forest so the search party could easily find it on the way back, and wished them luck. 50 men, women, and children set out. None returned. By midday the following day, outsiders came to the wildflower fields. Soldiers, a whole host of them. They trampled the flowers and stomped up towards the village. They made it within shouting distance of the village before Atlacha shifted the forest and they were gone. My grandfather said that for a while after that, you could hear gunfire and screams on the wind. Then silence. The most deafening silence he ever heard. No birds, no wind, just silence. Days passed before Atlacha appeared before my people again. When he did, his fur was matted with dried blood, his skull speckled with gore and his eyes dimmer than their usual radiance. He stepped forward and at his feet dropped scalps. 51 to be exact. Those of the missing girl and those of the search party. Atlacha spoke. People of the forest. Oh wait, hang on, I have a voice for this.
People of the forest, your loved ones were slaughtered. I'm sorry. I have tried to go back and stop them, but I cannot. I cannot return to a time where I am physically at. I'm sorry.
He gave everyone in the village a choice. Leave the forest and never return, or stay under his protection. All children would be given this choice when they came of age. Some left, most stayed. Over time, Atlacha came around less and less, blaming himself for not being able to protect the victims of that day. Eventually, people began to laugh at the idea of him. More left. Atlacha stopped coming around entirely. You could hear his howls and roars of the wind. As time went on, those of us who stayed got old and died. I had a wife. She died in childbirth, leaving me with a son, who I begged to leave so that he would not suffer my fate. To be the last of my tribe. The last to know Atlacha. I sent him to live with my brother, who left when he came of age, and they visit once or twice a year at the forest's edge. They stand in the wildflowers, and I in the trees. Atlacha still brings me food, as I'm far too old to hunt anymore, though they're not good kills. The poor creatures he brings are gored, sometimes still alive, but they're food. I caught sight of him once not long ago. His fur was covered in moss, his eyes pinpricks of light. It saddens me to see him so. The kids proceed to ask him why he doesn't just leave. The old man says, I am physically unable to leave. I have made my choice. I am the last of those who live in the forest, and I am fine with it. The old man gives the kids a bone compass, explaining the needle always points home no matter the shifts in the forest. He says that's how his people used to find their way back to their camp. They thank him and go. The compass leads them back to the camp, and they find the two who stayed, dead. Throats slit. June shouts for them to gather their things so they can go, and a man comes careening from the trees and rushes towards them. He wields an old Bowie knife and has madness in his eyes. He looks vaguely like Isaac, but more older and more starved. It is Isaac. And while he tries to attack them, he shouts about how it was all their fault, pointing at the dead lovers, saying how he had been trapped in this forest for decades. He says that he could see a village in the distance, but when he would get close, it would vanish with a howling wind. He even saw their campsite sometimes, overgrown and deserted. He'd been constantly stalked by something just out of sight, only noticeable by breaking branches and low, rumbling growls. He swings at June, and June kicks his leg. In desperation, she cries out for the old forest god Atlacha. The wind howls, and the forest grows dark. They stand on the banks of a flowing stream in front of a wide-mouthed, moss-covered cave. Two small golden eyes stare out from low to the ground. They rise, and rise, and rise. A 12-foot-tall beast lumbers out of the cave mouth, his claws long and sharp, his fur matted and moss-covered, his elk skull face now rust-colored from old blood. Twin golden lights shine from his eyes, and he roars. It is not a physical roar. It reverberates in the skulls of the party. All of them flinch except for Isaac, who lets out a scream and charges at Atlacha, who deftly snaps his arm and holds his throat. The forest shifts again, playing an echo of what happened. There are soldiers, all screaming and firing at a much cleaner Atlacha as he tears them down and gores them. The last to fall lands with his head in the stream. Atlacha slams Isaac down next to the echo corpse of his great-great-great-grandfather, wearing 15 scalps on his belt. The echoes fade. Atlacha pins Isaac under his foot and waves one hand. Behind the kids, their campsite appears. and in their heads, making their teeth vibrate, comes a booming voice.
Leave!
And so they do. They rush out of the forest into the warm midday sun among the wildflowers. A howl of wind, and Appalachia, the cave, the campground, all gone. All that's left are the trees, and in the distance, a warm cabin. And on the wind, a man's pained, maddened screams. The kids hobble and walk to a ranger station and tell the ranger that 3 of their friends went into the restricted forest area and they haven't seen them since. The rangers takes their statements, and the kids go home. The end. There you go.
Damn.
Hot damn, boy!
Was he a Wendigo?
No. So,
No.
okay.
I thought the same thing.
I think he's a Lorax.
Yeah. Yes,
It's a Leshen.
Yeah.
Is it a Leshen?
I would also like actually.
This guy's got some one-liners.
I like it.
I would like to point out a clip I just put in your chat, and just take a look at the top right of the screen in the clip, and there's your god.
Is it me doing the?
Yeah, it's 100% you doing that.
I was just like, he's a fucking moose.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was funny.
What'd you guys think?
That was great.
I've been toying that over in my head for ages now.
Yeah, I brought this up to him at least a month ago.
Yeah.
And the next day he was like, I already got my thing. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
And it was this.
Wait, you guys had months to prepare?
Yeah.
We gave you 2 weeks, Zach!
I gave them 3 days, and honestly, Matt came out with something fucking awesome for that.
But that was really good. So it's like,
Yeah.
what
Definitely should've
was
gone first.
inspiration for that?
I don't really have anything straight
It's
up.
just like a thing,
okay,
amalgamation of shit in your mind.
Yeah, kind of. Here's what I thought of. I was like, okay, what's a generic horror movie presence or preset? Like kids going camping. I'm like, okay,
Right. Always got to have something like that.
yeah, someone's got to want to be like, I want to go outside. It's like, no, you're only safe in your house. But like you guys were like, was he a Wendigo? And that's fair because that imagery, while not an accurate depiction of the Algonquin myth, is something that happened in like 2001 when a movie about Wendigos came out, and they designed the character like that, where it's just like a deer skull on top of a giant furry body.
Okay.
Well, you said furry body, and I'm like, okay, it's not a Wendigo then.
Yeah. So I fucking love that imagery. Zach, that is the reason why you saw Joe Biden is not a Wendigo, says Joe Biden unprompted. That is 100% why. Because I was trying to find an image to go with it.
Many people Monster in the House by. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like a lot of good horror movies are like like the ideas of The Thing or The Mist. Like the people are worse than the actual problem. It seems
right. And that's I really like that. I like that when it's like, okay, yeah, there's a giant forest creature that might kill you. Or there's a dumbass friend who will probably do it for no reason other than he's gone completely insane.
He's lost his mind.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, when he pulled out the Bowie knife, I was that's not a knife. Pulls out a bigger knife. This is a knife.
Fucking Crocodile Dundee.
Anytime someone says they pull out a knife, I'm like, please
This
do
is
the
a knife.
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh god.
Oh, that was really good.
I thrive for the Crocodile Dundee moment.
That I was not sure how it would come out because I hadn't practiced saying it out loud.
Would this be like a nighttime forest setting or like?
No, I
daytime?
truly like if it just transitions from both. Like,
oh, okay.
I don't like that was a big thing for me in the Blair Witch where it's like I don't like that it's always night in this fucking forest. Like, oh, it's scary, but also fuck you. You can be scary in the day. You're a goddamn witch.
Yeah.
You don't need nighttime to do magic.
No.
You're just doing it to be an asshole, and I don't like that. But yeah,
I think I'm going to try to actually
honestly
write
proud of
mine
that,
more.
and I would not mind trying to turn that into a script.
Yeah, I like that. There's a lot of also it's getting funnier and funnier when I tell my story because I
'Cause
went
they're
in a
good?
completely different. I went in such a different direction.
See, here's the thing. I knew you were gonna go in a different direction, so
He
I was like,
went
"Fuck it."
Philosophaster.
But I do like that it's like we've kind of got like a. This feels like all right. Hear me out. The Gratty cinematic universe. Okay.
God. No
I'm
thanks.
in. Let's do it.
into one fucking forest. It seems.
Also, it is with great joy that I can say that the Watwachi and Atlacha are not real Native American things.
Okay.
Because I did Google them, because I'm like, I want to make sure I'm not about to just shit on some poor tribe that doesn't know better.
Am I racist?
Yeah, exactly. And what's funny is when I Googled Watwachi, all that came up was anime girls and one old white dude.
Oh, nice.
which was a very strange experience. None of them were actually named Watwachi, but they had like chi somewhere in their name, and that's all that Google took. They're like, I don't know, you mean this, right? The fuck are you talking about?
Was that like speech you gave? What part of the movie does that happen in? Do you think?
So a lot of it kind of felt rushed, obviously, but there's space to fill for like the moments where they're like, oh, there's breaking branches, and then being like, what the fuck is that? And you can kind of like let the terror build, but like the speech, I wanted to kind of be like in the middle, almost.
So it's leading to them learning more, and now it's like it turns from like what the fuck's going on to like we need to learn more almost.
Yeah.
In a way.
I was gonna try and explain the bone compass, and then I was like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just a MacGuffin, anyways.
Bonefish, actually.
Yeah, bonefish.
Bone fidget.
Bone fidget.
The bone fidget. Okay.
You just break, it's like a hand, and you just like crack the knuckles.
You just spin your hand on your wrist.
I
didn't really understand what was happening.
Wait, you could understand what was happening? Sorry.
I like that they didn't really understand what was happening.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like all they thought was, hey, I'm not supposed to go here. Fuck it, no one can stop me. We're going into the fucking woods. No one's gonna see us. And then, which is 100% how I get thrown in this goddamn situation. I know that.
Yeah, that's just how it works. You just that's why you don't go in the forest.
Nah, you just do whatever you want, and then you accept the consequences when you get there.
That too, I guess. Big spook stunk. There we go.
But, okay, I am very proud of that, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I gotta say, the fucking voice changer came in handy.
Yeah, I like it.
I gave it 4 Charizards out of 5, but one of them changed to something else.
So 3 Charizards and something.
3
else.
Charizards and
Primarily, I don't know. I meant to click on Charizard and it didn't click on it, I guess.
And primarily, though. I did not look at chat the entire time because I was so focused on reading what I had written down.
Smart.
Yeah, we would have fucked you
like,
over.
I couldn't fucking do it.
Yeah, we were
I tried
having a payday.
I know. I kept seeing it click as like out of the corner of my eyes. I'm like, oh, don't look, because you're just gonna fucking want to scroll through it like an asshole.
Don't do what I did. Don't screw yourself.
All right. So next up is Jake.
Okay. Well,
hold on. I give you 6 out of 7 morphin times. By the way.
Oh, perfect. Hey, it won't suck. I believe in you, buddy.
Well, you know,
I don't.
I'm glad someone.
I don't.
I believe in you, Jake.
Immediately
shitting as bad as mine.
All right. Do you want spooky music?
I mean, sure, I guess.
Do you want the same spooky music?
It don't matter.
I'll move it up a little.
On
your go.
Oh, God. All right. I guess we'll start. Welcome, silent viewers. I want to set the mood by da-na-na-da, da-na-na-na, da-da-da-da. All right. In the movies, chilling with popcorn. The words "the unseen" go across the screen as you get a panoramic view of Earth from the ISS. You see the sun shining behind you towards Earth. Then out of the top left of the screen, you'll see a space object come towards Earth and cause a big flash on the other side of the planet. Then from there, the camera will slowly pan down as you'll see the darkness of space with the stars going from bottom to top, and then it transitions from stars to bubbles. You'll see little air bubbles. Light comes from right to left. You see a sub come into frame, a little scout sub. The pilot, Jason Parker. The marine biologist, Sarah Osborne, currently 1,000 feet below the surface. They're researching the environment around volcanic vents in the ocean floor to see how sea life is reacting to the global warming caused in the last 100 years. It's currently the year 2072. They radio back to the captain, Maria Roberts, letting them know that the air pressure is nominal, the air content in the sub is nominal. As they get closer to the bottom of the ocean, they see a shady figure come into sight from the sub's lights. They notice it's a smaller goblin shark, but it's slightly smaller than usual and has a weird discolored pattern on its back, slightly moving in the ocean. So Jason and Sarah, being kind of taken back by this, they decide to tag the creature. And it ends up swimming off into the distance once it's tagged, and it goes into the darkness. They call back to the captain to see if the tag is activated, and they see that it's moving away from them. So they continue with their mission to the sea vents, and they notice, almost as they get closer, they can see the floor of the ocean come into view, but it looks like it's moving with like thousands of legs. And as they creep closer, they realize it's an entire swarm of spider crabs. And they're just shocked by the amount that they see, so they kind of pan around to look for a corpse of a larger animal, because that's usually what causes these large gatherings of sea creatures. As they look around, they don't see anything, so they kind of see that it's kind of strange that there's so many together in one area. So they report all their findings back to Captain Maria. They take samples of the water around them to test, chemicals, temperature, acidity, and things like that for their research. And they end up coming back up to the surface after their mission and discussing their findings with Maria, the captain of the ship, and the captain of the larger sub, Hector Pinkman. They get their findings. All right, breaking story a little bit. I don't have a lot of filler, so sorry about that. Okay, back to the story. So they look at their research. They realize this is the place that they want to come back to and get better readings of the soil, of the ocean floor, and things like that. So they'll end up taking the larger sub, the larger nuclear sub down there to stay for multiple days. So the large sub pilot Hector drops into the ocean with Jason Parker and Sarah Osborne, the marine biologist, as they go back into the ocean where they first explored. And they start going down to the same area where they first arrived, and they notice that the tracker of the small goblin shark that they tagged earlier is coming closer. So they look around for it. They maneuver the sub to kind of get a glimpse of it before it kind of goes away into the darkness again. And they notice a very large figure coming closer to them as they look at their radar and notice the tracker is getting closer and closer. They continue to shine the lights in front of them, and all of a sudden they see a large 30-foot goblin shark coming closer to their sub. And as it swims past them, it kind of gives them an eerie look as it's kind of staring at them as it swims by. And it just seems very eerie and strange to the people in the sub. It's just unusual for most sea creatures at that depth to come up to them. So as they start going towards the ocean floor, they'll have Hector Pinkman stay in the sub as the two go collect samples of the soil and the area around the vents. So they'll get in there diving suits, and they'll leave the large sub. So as they leave the sub to go collect their samples for the research, they'll notice that a lot of this, like, sea creatures are missing. They don't see as many as they saw the first time. So they're looking around, collecting their samples, just talking to each other, kind of back and forth, as you do in your job. And they notice one of the creature coming out of the distance, coming towards them, coming up to them, basically. And it's just another, like a sea creature, like a crustacean crawling along the floor. It's not a spider crab, but it comes up to them and starts climbing up on Sarah. And Sarah obviously gets terrified. It's creepy. You're in the bottom of the ocean. So she pushes it off, and it kind of swims away. And they just get back to their work, and they notice, a few more creatures start coming. And as they get closer, they notice that they're just kind of on the edge of their light, kind of watching them as they're collecting these samples. They could see shadows in the far distance just kind of moving around, but not coming close enough to see what they are. Well, as a few more get closer and a few more get closer, they turn around and they see that they're just completely surrounded at this point. So, being scared and nervous at the fact that they're being surrounded by these, like, crustaceans, they're not very large, but there's the fact there's so many, they start deciding to head back to the ship to just recover and figure out what's going on. And as they're making their way back, they just notice them leaving a path out of their way towards the ship, or towards the sub. But then they start coming up closer. As they get closer to the sub, the creatures come up closer behind them, and one starts jumping on Jason's back as they're getting towards the sub. He has this one of the research tools. It's like an electric prod. I don't know exactly what it does, but it's a story plot thing. And so basically he grabs the sea creature that was on his back, and he ends up shocking it. And then as soon as he shocks it, the body of the creature turns into like a putty, and it starts vibrating and convulsing, obviously due to the shock. And as they go into the airlock, the creature comes in with them accidentally, and they notice that the creature was a crustacean, slowly becoming a fish, changing into a shark, and just spazzing out on the floor as it dies due to the fact that it's in air and not in the ocean. Seeing this, they end up capturing it, putting it in a capsule, and then showing it to Hector as he's taken aback by the creature because he's never seen anything like this in his life. So they start doing tests and research on this creature, and eventually the creature dies in the process of it being out of water. So they're doing research and dissecting the creature, and as they cut it open, they realize there's no organs. Basically, it's just a solid mass, but they're just confused on the fact of why it would be changing shape and not having any structure to it. They notice after it dies that there's no structure in it, and it's just weird that it was changing shape like that. And then they realize that the creature isn't, that they've never seen it before. They realize it's not from this planet. And that large... Okay, I'm kind of losing it here. I had it for a while. Let's see. Basically, what... if you guys want, you guys can end. You can start talking, because it's basically over. I just screwed up the ending, kind of. You guys want to unmute.
Okay.
But basically...
I was fucking into that.
Yeah, that was really good.
Basically, the creature...
That was good.
Thanks. Yeah, I kind of lost it at the end there.
Thanks.
That's okay.
But basically, the creature is, like... The setup for the beginning was the light through the planet, like on the other side of the planet was a meteorite, or asteroid hitting the planet, bringing in creatures from outer space that... It's kind of hard to tell because I'm not good at storytelling. But basically, the creature is a shapeshifter, and the way it kills creatures is by enveloping it. and then it reproduces
Oh.
asexually by the amount of food it eats. And
Okay.
but I kind of lost how was I trying to explain it.
That's
so.
okay.
That was
That was
really
very Lovecraft, and
Oh.
I fucking loved that. That was
First of all,
Let's be real. Everybody's doing better than I did.
Well, granted, we made you go first because we knew you were the least prepared, and that would be funny. So,
there you go.
If
It worked out because it's like if you had gone last, you'd probably feel worse.
if
No,
you'd
no.
gone last, it would have sucked. How bad would you feel? Anyway, Zach, you want to do your shitty whatever it is you got?
First of all, let's keep talking about
I know,
this.
I'm just fucking
Yeah.
with you, but
I like the setting of the fucking deep water. Jesus,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I like
Christ.
I like the
hate
setting
the
of
movie.
deep water and like it's because global warming. Like I like that a lot
Yeah,
more than just like, oh, we're just in the ocean for fun.
I gotta add a little, political play in there. You
Well,
know,
yeah.
It's
What's a horror
and
movie without
some
politics?
foreshadowing.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I would already be afraid of the movie as soon as it starts.
the thing
I'm
that
scared.
the thing that sucks is I have like so much good imagery in my head but I can't. I'm not good at selling it, and I'm like, damn it.
I want you to know, you
Just
and
whip a
Darius,
fat
yes,
cloud
Jason
and you'll be
Statham
fine.
was definitely the lead in this fucking movie to
Yeah,
me.
no, I would love to see Jason Statham play anything other than bald badass. Give me bald scientist Jason Statham. He's got to get tired of doing flips at a certain point.
Basically, the end was that Hector was going to drive the nuclear sub into the creature because
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that was one of the
Doesn't
things.
die.
I think the only thing that confused me was when he was in the water. He's like, electric cattle prod in the middle of water.
Yeah, I was like,
Listen, straight up, I could see a use for that though. If you think there are
Uh-huh.
still sharks, and you
True.
want it to go the fuck away now, a giant stick that shocks it is probably better than trying to punch it.
Is like your
Yeah.
suit insulated?
but yeah, it's 2070, so I'm doing like the future.
Oh,
they have
yeah.
the
I
technology
totally
that
forgot
we
that you
don't.
said it was super in the future.
When
I'm thinking about days.
When in doubt, shove it in the future. So
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure there are insulated diving suits.
I just don't know if they go to the bottom of the ocean. But I just I took that liberty myself. I was like,
Yeah, that's fine. It's
I
a
like
fucking movie pitch. You don't need to worry about the reality of it.
man, I wish I could really do these scenes, like just like a little clip of the scene, so I could.
I know.
like,
I was
set it
telling
more.
Jenna, I wish I could draw the fucking thing I was working on. I'm like, I'm so shit at drawing. So no.
when I edit this, I'm probably gonna like put imagery up and shit. Try to put
Okay.
some kind of imagery up.
I am
All I
still
can see
very
is
proud
a
of
big
myself.
trash
For this.
can for my imagery.
Is that not what's on
Oh
your
my
webcam?
god!
Oh,
Yes!
that's old.
Please don't actually do that.
I don't know. I feel like it gave Zach the idea.
I'm going to work on my story, make it better one day.
So yeah, I also want to say, for just googling spooky music, this worked out really well.
Yeah.
There were several points where Jake said something and the music like did a stinger or something, and it was like really fitting to the moment. It's like, how the fuck?
And for some reason, the music just sounded like it was under.
Yeah,
It just sounded like
Yeah.
it was underwater.
it did. It truly did.
I was just like, this is so weird.
It worked out. It's funny how music does that kind of shit.
My favorite
Oh,
part is
man,
like during that whole thing that I was doing, like the moment I looked up to look at the Discord, I just see Keys yawning, and I'm like, oh shit, no, I'm losing them. I'm losing them.
Like,
No.
Little
as
Far
boring.
Cry.
No, it's just funny because it was that one time I looked up.
I give it 5 Mason screams out of 6.
Dang,
I
that's
give
way
it
better.
5 fail fish out of 6 because they're the only one that came up with fish.
That's like an 80%. You guys are being way generous. Thanks.
Ah,
I'm gonna
not
give
being
it- this
generous.
the
It was
bank.
good.
I'm gonna give it, in your style, Jake,
Yeah.
4 ring tings out of 7.
4 ring dings out of 7.
Ring
I gave
Look,
it
you ever get
table
one?
flips out of 6.
Okay.
Ring
All right,
dings.
Zach, you want to close us out, and we'll, I guess, do Dead by Daylight or something after this?
Yeah, sounds
I
good.
gave Zach 1 table flip out of 6.
Shit.
And we haven't even started.
Do you want spooky music? I know you're going more for comedy angle.
Do you have anything that would fit like a slasher?
Can we play spooky music just so Mason can brag about it again?
Yeah,
Hey, I might be bragging, but I'm also right. I have
Sorry,
no
I'll just
idea.
chime in every once in a while and be like, eat, 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 eat.
I don't think I have anything for slasher, but I can just.
Just give it a random fucking world of the spin there.
What you got on a soundboard, huh?
What you want to hear? Okay, here.
No.
There we go.
No.
Tell your story.
What is scariest killer?
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, that
Oh wait,
fucking
here.
worked with mine.
Zach,
With
I have the
something
perfect
else.
slasher music. You ready?
Dang, I got 4 dings.
I love it.
I would slash people up with to that music.
Yeah. All right. Muting now.
There is a song that is specifically listed in this movie, but we cannot play it because it's
Okay.
copyrighted.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure what I'm playing is copyrighted, but we're talking over it, so it's probably fine.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad that everyone went like kind of mystical, creaturey kind of vibe because I'm going straight fucking slasher. I'm going a hardcore fucking slasher flick, classic style. And the character, I'll give you a little backstory of the villain first. Freddy Krueger is a terrified man living in his own personal nightmare on Elmer Street every day of his life. Freddy may have every phobia known to man, apart from homo and trans, because he's scared, not an asshole. A true medical marvel to still be able to exist despite all his fears, one wonders how he copes. Well, there is one way that he copes, and that's through murder. You see, Freddy seeing someone else in fear puts his fears at ease. And the fear of being murdered by a serial killer, also known as phoniosophobia, is a strong one for his victims. I'll give you a little description of his outfit. His outfit includes a hockey mask, but not like the typical Jason hockey mask, like the current day full covered helmet hockey mask to cover his head. I've scared Mason away. Is a modern day helmet of that. In the inside, he wears earbuds. In the earbuds, he plays calming music to kind of keep himself from the fear of what he's doing, but also because he does not like the sound of screams, which is the phonophobia. So to keep away the screams, he plays calming music in his ears. He wears a full body coverall hazmat suit to make sure he stays clean of germs. However, he makes sure that the suit is black instead of the typical white, kind of like hazmat full body suit, because he also has a fear of blood, and he doesn't really want to see it. So the black kind of covers it up from being, very visible. And he wears Crocs because they're really comfortable and they're just easy to clean. His weapon of choice are scissors, which is why you don't see him running a lot. He is afraid of them because of the fear ichmophobia, that is the fear of sharp objects. But his victims seem more afraid of it, so that helps. Now we'll get into the movie itself. The plot of the movie goes as this. It is set in the fictional town, nonfiction Massachusetts. I chose nonfiction Massachusetts because it's close to Boston, Massachusetts in my mind. And I think the idea of a horror movie where everyone has to talk in a Boston accent, goddamn hilarious to me. We start, the opening scene is we meet Freddy Krueger, played by Ben Affleck, obviously. He is ending a therapy session with his therapist, played by, yes, Matt Damon of all people. He is explaining to Freddy the method of exposure therapy, which is a treatment of therapy designed to help people confront their fears and phobias. Freddy's unsure if it will work, but considers it. On his walk home, because he has the fear of driving and maxophobia, he doesn't drive his cars. As it starts to get late, he walks by in his neighborhood on Elmer Street, yes. He sees a couple swimming in their pool, and he's angry, and he wishes he could be in that pool too, but his fear of aquaphobia prevents him from doing so. But suddenly, he has an idea. The sound of Matt Damon's Boston accent ringing in his ear of exposure therapy, facing his fears. So, as the woman walks away from the pool for a minute to go inside the house, with the popular Boston song played at Fenway Stadium, Sweet Caroline playing, Freddy breaks into the back pool area and drowns the man. She returns to see him laying face down on a pool floaty with a pool noodle ringed around his neck, like a pool noodle. She sees a soaking wet Freddy standing there, and she runs inside. She wants to call the police, but oh no, she left her phone outside playing Sweet Caroline, and she doesn't have a house phone. It's fucking modern day, Mason. This is where Freddy, soaking wet, obviously, decides he needs to change his outfit. So he finds, as every house has, the hazmat suit. He finds their hockey mask. He puts it on. And he goes inside to look for her, and he finds the scissors, realizing he can kind of take care of two fears in one: hemophobia and ichnophobia, his fear of sharp objects. So he walks into the house. He finds her hidden in the closet. He drags her out of the closet to kill her, but realizes, well, he could maybe get rid of his claustrophobia. And so he drags her back into the closet, stabbing her multiple times to kill her. This helps with his fear, and he's able to kind of relax a little bit. He actually goes for a swim in the pool, feeling his fear start to wash away. And now he realizes what he must do. He must kill to rid himself of his fears. I see Mason answering his phone. He called me. That's what the fucking number was. Okay. I was wondering what came up on my phone. So at this point, now, so he leaves the house, and now, for future reference, whenever we would hear the song Sweet Caroline in the movie, that is the signal that death is approaching, okay? But now we need to meet our heroes of the movie. They are played by Hayden Christensen and Hayden Panettiere, using their real names, except we just took Y's out of the name. Why? I'll explain later. We are introduced to them by hearing the song Sweet Caroline playing, but they turn it off, signaling that they might be a little different than the typical people here in nonfiction Massachusetts. They're actually friends of the first victims we met here in the movie. And they were coming to visit them, but learn of their deaths. Angry at the deaths of their friends, they make it now their personal choice to find the murderer and bring him to justice, or get revenge. As we meet these two, we learn more about them, that they are actually pretty fearless people. We know that they actually met free rock climbing. That's when you rock climb without rope, out and about in the wilderness. They also love going skydiving together. So they're very, fearless people. Very different than our antagonist here, Freddy Krueger. It's at this point we kind of get a montage of some bits of Freddy going around his town here and trying to rid himself of his phobias. He kills he kills a man in an automobile accident to get over his amaxophobia fear. He burns some people alive with fire to get over his fear of fire. As we go through the movie, the two heroes slowly getting closer and closer, finding these deaths and realizing that we got a serial killer on their loose, and trying to put keys together on what exactly is happening. They then, while they're on their mission, they actually run into Matt Damon, who explains that a lot of these fears are symptoms of a man that he is taking care of, Freddy Krueger. Already immediately breaking patient therapist agreement, and so thus he loses a job automatically. That'll be something for the sequel. Just want you to know. I'm not going to go over the sequel, just so you know. So now that they know what to do, what they need to look for, they decide what is something that is probably terrifying, and they think about their past: rock climbing, skydiving. That's right. They convince our hero, they try to get our antagonist to come find them at one of those indoor activity places that has like a zero gravity like tunnel and has rock climbing walls. And they blast Sweet Caroline as loud as they can in the building. So naturally, that attracts Freddy Krueger. He comes in, and this is our big fight scene. They have a big fight with him inside the zero gravity tunnel, where there's this like big flying actions of them trying to stab him with scissors as they're going by, but they're just missing each other. He does land a couple hits on the Haydens, and they are weakened, and so now he thinks he's got them. So their only chance of escape, they feel, is to climb the rock climbing wall, thinking he won't climb it. So as they're climbing, Freddy, still feeling the confidence of his kills, follows them up the rock climbing wall. As he reaches out and grabs Hayden Christensen's leg, Hayden Panettiere grabs the scissors from his hand and sticks his hand and sticks them onto the wall, and he's just left there hanging by his hand on the wall, and both Haydens are up above him now, and as he's hanging there, he because remember there's no Y in their name. He just looks at them and goes, "Why?" And they say, "Not in our name," and kick him down off the rock wall to his death. They then embrace, feeling like they've successfully avenged their fallen friends, and then they look back. Freddy Krueger's not there anymore, and that's the end of the movie, with Sweet Caroline, a slowed down version of it playing, leading us into the credits. And that's it.
Oh my fucking god!
That was the worst catchphrase ever.
I hate that you made me wait an entire movie to know why there was no Y in their names. I fucking hate you so much.
I named the
Who's
movie
Rogue
name.
Husky?
The name of it is a Rogue Husky is my friend Tom.
Okay.
But
Thanks, Tom.
the name of the movie is Exposure Therapy. The slogan being, I think I had it like fear for fear.
You know what I
is the
hate
cure.
most about this? Is that you could 100% pitch this and someone would buy it.
Oh fucking yeah! That's why I was like, I gotta pitch a fucking slasher.
I can pitch mine and maybe I get somebody. But yours is like, no, if I pitch this, someone would buy it.
Fuck you, Tom.
You know,
that was a great movie.
Despite myself, I enjoyed it. I did get up to get more scotch, and I felt bad because I was trying to rush it, but I couldn't hear my headphones far enough away. So I was like, fuck.
I'm just astonished by what I heard.
I'm glad. I was like, man, everyone else is much more serious. I was like, this is either gonna suck or be hilarious.
No, this is why I wanted you to go last.
My favorite part of the whole thing was burns people with fire. So good.
I do love
give
the
it a
idea
full octopus.
of Sweet Caroline being used is
I
a
know.
horror movie element.
So I was like, that's so funny when
And
I hear like
my
a
octopus.
pure song.
When you said it like for drowning, I just imagine him like going ba 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 with his skull, just like smashing it into the water.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
deciding on how he kills the woman. I was like, do I have him like slam her head on the ground? I was like, no, I got the idea for like but trying to get a bunch of fears at once.
Did you? So how many of these phobias did you have to look up?
Pretty much all of them. I knew claustrophobia, and like I just didn't know the technical terms. Like I didn't know what the one for fire was. I was like, oh, pyrophobia, I guess makes sense. I didn't think it would be that.
I
simple.
knew what phonophobia was. When you said that, I'm like, oh my god, he actually looked these up. There's no
Oh
way.
yeah, I just kept
thought
going.
when I
Fear
heard
of
it, I was
this.
like, that's not real.
Yeah, they're all real.
Because I was like, phobia does not sound right.
I like that tagline. Also, I should make it very clear in this pitch. We're gonna have a lot of trademark issues with Freddy Krueger, Sweet Caroline, the Hayden names.
No, it's fine. You're pitching it to a studio, not us.
Well, yeah, this is also part of the pitch. I'm like, I realize there's going to be some problems, but I'm not going to let that be changed. It's immediate.
These are aspects of my movie I refuse to remove.
I love that it was Matt Damon and Marky Mark.
No, it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
I thought you said Marky Mark. Oh my god!
No, I said
Yeah,
Matt
no,
Damon
that's
was
why
the
when you were
therapist,
like, I was
like-
like, it's not Marky Mark.
I thought he said that, and then I read your comment. I was like, "What's he talking about?" He said, Mark.
Oh
Just
man.
the Ouija board and spells like ratio.
You know what? Straight up, if I ever become a ghost and someone's like, I pulled out the Ouija board and it's all emojis, I'm gonna burn that Ouija board with my ghost powers. No, you don't get to do that.
So I think that's a good addition to the shitty slasher line of film.
Honestly, I feel like they would definitely make you change it from Freddy Krueger, but they would totally keep Elmer Street. And like, they'd keep the majority of it, but they'd change that. That'd be like the one thing where they're like, we can't get away with that, but we can get away with pretty much everything else.
Yeah,
Just get the
Nightmare
grocery
on Elmer
chain
Street.
Kroger to support it.
Or would it be The Bad Dream on Elmer Street?
So, what would the name of this be?
Oh, I after the actual that's a real form of therapy, exposure therapy.
Yeah.
So it'd be called exposure therapy.
Yeah, no,
Fear
that-
for Fear.
honestly,
Fear for
you
Fear
could-
is the cure.
That's not a bad movie pitch, straight up.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I dig that.
I was like,
man.
this
I didn't
this
have a
feels like
name
the
for
cheap
mine.
one to
I
make.
just had it under the title of Old Forest God.
Whole force. God.
Mine
That-
was
that-
Knife Years, and I never got into why it was called that.
I love that Zach
Thinking
keeps
about it.
reminding us. He's like, I was not prepared. I want you.
I did not do what I wanted to do. I fucked up.